The bicycle is an important tool for tackling the climate crisis, and today I'm going to show you how. My name is Dave and I live just outside London in the UK. I draw cartoons and I'm going to use some of my drawings to make my case. I'm going to be talking about the UK, but I think much of what I have to say also applies here in China. Now, the journey I make every day is from my home at the top of a hill to a cafe, and I go there to do my drawings. I choose to make this journey, it's not very far, it's only 2 or 3 kilometres, but I choose to make this journey every day by bicycle because it's outdoors. I get the fresh air, I see wildlife, birds when I'm cycling along, and the route is through a nature reserve. And so people are there walking with their dogs, and we stop and say hello, and there is interaction, and to me that is really important. So for me, cycling is healthy, it's good for my mental well-being, it's affordable, and it's a quick way to travel, and it's sociable. But cycling is not just good for me, it's good for the place where I live. In a city, you can fit far more bicycles into a space than you can cars. Cycling is brilliant, but is it a form of climate change mitigation? I believe yes. Now, scientists tell us that climate change is happening, that it's down to human activity, and that it is up to us to fix it. We need to both mitigate, so do what we can to prevent the worst of it, and also adapt, so change our behaviour in the light of what's happening. Every fraction of a degree matters. Now, transport accounts for about 16% of global carbon emissions. So it's quite a major sector. And of that, road transport comprises 75%. So if we can decarbonise road transport, it can have a significant impact on the climate. In the UK, 61% of our journeys are local, under 8 kilometres. Now, how can we make these journeys by sustainable means? Well, if it's a short journey, we can walk. If it's a little bit longer, we can catch a bus or a metro. But the bicycle covers all these distances and everything in between. And it's also very flexible, meaning that you can cycle wherever you need to go. Cycling is a lower carbon form of transport than a car. Even with an electric car, there are carbon emissions involved in the generation of the power and in the manufacture of the vehicle. But what can we do to encourage more people to cycle? In order to answer that question, I'm going to bring to mind some of the things that people say to me as I make my short journey to the cafe on my bike every day. So some people say, how do you manage to get up the hill? Isn't it far too steep? I'm powered by the coffee that I've had at the cafe. I go very slowly in a very low gear. But actually, an electric bike can now make cycling accessible to a far greater range of people and make hills far less of a problem than they used to be. Other people say to me, but what about the weather? I live in the UK, it does rain, but actually it rains less often than you think it does. And in any case, I can wear waterproof clothing, and so rain needn't stop me cycling. But actually, the main reason that people don't cycle, particularly in the UK, I think, is that we love our cars. The car is the main way that people travel, and there are many cars everywhere. But the thing about cars is that if everyone uses them, then no one goes anywhere. Congestion is a very real problem. Added to this, cars are getting bigger. A while ago, they were small, but as time has gone on, they have become bigger. So cars are great for the person inside them, but not necessarily for the people outside of the vehicle, for those walking and cycling. Do I really need a car to fetch my lunch? No, not really. But of course, people do need cars for all sorts of situations. It's about using the best tool for the job. And for short urban journeys, the car is not usually the best tool for the job. Many people say to me, I would cycle, but I don't feel safe. And I understand this. What can we do to make cycling feel safe and be safe?
I'd like to suggest 5 ways. First of all, where possible, it's good to separate bicycles and motor traffic. Here in China, I've been really enjoying riding on paths that are separated from the traffic. But in London, near where I live, it's possible to ride from the east of the city to the west on a cycle route that goes alongside the River Thames, past Buckingham Palace, and I hardly need to interact with any traffic at all. The second way is to make cycle routes of really good quality. Now behind me you see the Greenway here in Taiyuan, and the surface is smooth and it goes over and under roads, and it's a lovely place. You can see people behind me cycling. So we need to make sure that the surfaces are good, that there are no barriers, and it would be great if in the UK we could have more routes like this Greenway here in Taiyuan. The third way is something in the UK we call a low traffic neighbourhood. And this means that some roads are blocked at one end, and what this means is that it's far quieter, and therefore people cycling, people riding a bike feel much safer doing so. Fourthly, we have something called the hierarchy of responsibility. And that means that those in bigger vehicles have a responsibility to keep those in smaller vehicles safe. And lastly, the safe passing distance. Now in the UK, it is a rule that anyone driving a car has to stay 1.5 to 2 metres away from somebody riding a bicycle. So I'd like to encourage you to give cycling a try as a low carbon form of transport. It's a great way to get around, especially in an urban environment like this one. Cities where people are able to cycle are better places to live. So is this about telling people how they should travel? No, it isn't. It's about giving people a choice about the way they travel. And actually, when you give people a choice and all these are possible, then people will choose to use low carbon forms of transport. So can it make a difference, just one person cycling? I believe it can. And through my drawings, I have tried to make cycling, to promote cycling as a form of low carbon transport. My belief is that the bicycle fights climate change. I'd love to see you out here riding a bike.